Oh, hey, are we actually live?
Yes.
Are we recording? So, me talking about my stinky
Shut up.
not
Hi. I'm Josh Kiesler.
Where it smells really bad.
I'm Colin Hart.
I'm Jordan Hart.
And I'm Eric Paulbach.
And this is Wooberg Weekly.
One big dysfunctional family.
We went in alphabetical order. I want you to know that.
This is the guy that notices the most random thing ever.
We went in alphabetical order.
He knows
By
the
my last
alphabet.
name, I mean.
My last name. Okay.
And then the Hart's my first name, too. Pretty impressive.
Okay, so what's up?
What's
people?
up? Lots of cool stuff happened this weekend.
It's been a good week in
just-
Magic.
Yes. So first off,
I need to find my show notes.
okay, well, from what I remember, first off, lots of stuff happens at Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con.
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 Yeah, so Cons of Tarkir, we knew what was coming. We knew it was the next set, and we suspected we would learn a lot from Comic-Con. Mark Rosewater talking about different stuff.
You know, for a couple hours.
And we, I didn't get to see the actual
It is
panel,
not. It is not on YouTube yet, as of we recording.
but it was live tweeted on the Wizards Magic Twitter.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you search on Twitter for Wizards_Magic, you'll find everything you need to know about what we learned. So, and I actually have on here, I have mtgsalvation.com. There's a forums, Magic something or other. It has everything you need to know about cons. We could probably post that at some point.
So we'll do that later.
Yeah. So everything that we know after they told us. And there was also a trailer that came up on
Do we have
YouTube.
a comment
Yes.
section below?
Hmm?
Will there be a comment section below?
Eventually, once we actually get these posted, there will
Okay.
be one.
So,
Okay.
there's a teaser trailer. I watched it once. I don't remember a whole lot about it. It looked like
It was pretty much just like the leaders of each of the
Yeah.
factions.
Was this the, 47-second one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
go on YouTube on Magic the Gathering YouTube. That's the latest
Also,
video.
just search like Cons of Tarkir teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Yes.
just click
Yes,
There will be a link.
There'll
in
be a
the-
link in the
it.
comments
Those
below
are capable of searching. We'll do that. So,
for people who like
Um,
comments below.
so yeah, you had something that you
Yes.
wanted to talk about with that.
Well, there's a lot of spoiler stuff in that. A lot of stuff spoiled on the Twitter feed. Twitter.
Can we talk about some of the stuff?
Yeah, we're going to.
that's-
And something I thought about, and I want to talk about, was the
He's
little.
wrong.
He's wrong.
Is
but-
the little the little
Hedron.
thing.
Hedron.
Shut up.
Hedron.
The little
on.
amulet thing that is on Sarkon's staff in the trailer.
It's a Hedron.
It looks like a Hedron.
It is a Hedron.
Pretty sure it's a Hedron.
Looks like a Hedron.
Looks like a Hedron.
Looks like a Hedron, smells like a Hedron, glows like a Hedron. It's a Hedron.
Tastes like a Hedron.
Just tell me shut up.
He's wrong. The Eldrazi are not
Shut
coming.
up, I'm not
I
done
want
yet.
it as much as
I am
anyone
not done
else.
yet.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Will not be
So-
silenced.
I will
Now
not
it's
be
only
silenced.
the top of a Hedron. It's not full Hedron. Also, these Hedrons are usually quite large.
It's a small Hedron.
I'm gonna tell
It's
you.
a full
Eric,
small
I'm talking.
Hedron. Go
Seriously.
ahead.
Just shut up.
Okay, I'll shut up.
The Hedron is going in the trailer, and we know from the previous set that we saw Hedrons, Zendikar block, that Sarkon does tear off a piece of a Hedron and attaches it to his cane. Not quite sure why.
Staff.
Staff, cane,
It's
staff. Sorry,
Walking
staff.
stick.
Not quite sure why. Maybe Bolas wanted him to do it for some reason. But we do see that Bolas kind of lets Sarkon do his own thing after the Eldrazi are unleashed. Yeah. So
Maybe it's a part of his plan. We don't know.
yeah, so it probably is part of his plan. I mean, the whole fight scene between Jace and Chandra and him are part of the plan.
Yeah.
And so we see that on his cane staff, and sometimes people like to throw in little hints about those kind of things. You know.
It's not happening.
So I'm thinking Eldrazi could come back.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Not
It's
really.
been quite a
Believe me, I want it as much as everyone else. And everyone wants the Eldrazi to come back.
This side
Don't
of the
let
couch,
anyone lie to you.
This side of the couch thinks no.
Yeah, it's not happening.
I'm pretty sure everyone thinks no. I just think it's a possibility. I want to leave it up for a
Well,
possibility.
they will eventually come back, and that's you know,
This is not the time.
this is not. Yeah, it's way too short.
This
of
is
time
this
to
is
come
too
back.
cool a plane for them to do that to this plane.
Yeah, like this is the first time we've seen Tarker. I don't know.
Tarkir.
Yeah, first time we've seen the plane. That leads me to believe like they want to continue the storyline and make it into another Return to
Mind
Tarkir,
you,
like they've been doing
Zendikar
recently.
was the first time we saw that plane.
Right.
Yes.
However, we could still go back there.
Yeah, I mean it's still there.
Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah. I
So
don't
they
know.
did say that there was going to be some sort of like, I mean, obviously this was in the draft. They talked about some sort of time element to the draft. Was that what it was?
Yeah, there was
time travel
some
element.
kind of time travel or something. That's another spoiler they talked about. We don't really know.
So maybe there's time travel involved. You know,
Well, there's gotta be
the
time
Eldrazi. The Eldrazi are pretty powerful beings.
They are
Powerful
not
enough-
that powerful. They
they're-
can't time.
That is
Like,
that's a
bullet
blue
swap.
that's a blue thing. So I don't think the Eldrazi can do that.
So do the they don't have a spark. They
They don't have a spark.
They can planeswalk,
They can just planeswalk.
which is so like so. What's stopping them from like? What is the difference then between like?
Oh,
Eldrazi?
Djinn. That's another one that's on this plane.
Yeah, the Jin.
Oh yeah.
And they seem like they could probably
You get
time travel.
wishes.
Aw,
Wish for
Jinn
more
of
wishes.
3 wishes.
Yeah,
That'd be a good name.
Is that card?
Yeah.
Oh.
it's Jin of wishes. He gives you 3 wishes.
Isn't?
No, it's
There's
just
a Jinn of
wishes.
3 wishes.
It's a Jinn of wishes.
I was wrong.
There's a ring of
Anyway.
3 wishes.
Sorry, my
That
bad.
would be a good one too. Anyway, so
Anyways,
on
names.
here,
That's all I want to talk about.
what I'm seeing.
He's
well,
wrong.
Well, what do we know about cons? We actually know quite a bit about cons. We learned it's the home of 5 warring clans, each represented by a shard, enemy shard. So you remember
Wedge.
and wedge. Yeah, you remember the wedges. Remember the Jund, Esper. What are the other ones?
Jund, Esper, Bant, Naya.
Bant. Thank you. I was trying to think of that all day long.
Naya and the other one that no one cares
Grixis.
about. Grixis, yeah, the lame one. So these are the other 5 color combinations.
Says the guy just built a Grixis.
Yeah, it's whatever. But there used to be dragons on Tarkir, but now they're extinct.
Time travel.
The clans each worship something about dragons. And so we know that Tarkir is the home of Sarkhan Vol. He left his plane in order to encounter dragons, and the story takes place after the last time we saw Sarkhan, and time travel is involved in the storyline.
Last time I saw Sarkhan was on Zendikar.
Yeah, so we know the clans, the House of Abzan, which is the junk, it's white, black, green. Their Khan is Anafenza, so the Khans are the leaders of the groups. So Anafenza, and they're based on endurance of dragons. Their symbol is a scale.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, and their mechanic is a long game one. Whatever that. Their theme is control, and their mechanic is a long game mechanic. Something that you're gonna grind and grind. And that's great for the jump colors and standard, I think. That,
Yeah.
with Elspeth and all these ridiculous,
Yeah.
great
Your
removal spells.
Your
it's
junk tick's pretty.
it's looking pretty good. The Jeskai Way is the next group. They're the American colors. The main color is blue. Their con is Narset. They're based on the cunning of the dragons. So speed and cunning, the dual decks coming out, maybe something with that. Their symbol is the Eye of the Dragon, and their theme is tricks. And the mechanic will make the opponent second guess what's going on. Whatever the mechanic is,
So the Djinns are probably in this group.
something like a fake out, like I'll cast this,
Okay.
then if you do this, I'll play this instead, or
Like
something.
say a possibility of ninjutsu, maybe.
Ninjutsu seems like a possibility. I did read on here that one of the main mechanics of the
It's more.
we got that too, but one of the 5 mechanics here is something that's returning. So ninjutsu may be a returning mechanic.
Okay.
The Soul type Rude is a bug color combination. Main color is black. Their con is Sidisi. They're based on ruthlessness of dragons. Their symbol's a fang. Their theme is resource manipulation, and their mechanic manipulates resources. So that's what we know.
So something graveyardy.
I think Graveyard.
Yeah, great.
Resource
Bug
manipulation. That
graveyard.
sounds-
Yeah.
Or
Graveyard.
what if it were to manipulate your opponent's source?
Or maybe like a discard spells that make it so you can cast their spells that you discarded.
Yeah.
Something.
Maybe.
That could be
Maybe.
good.
I mean, just come on there. The Mardu Horde, which we know the most about, their con is Zergo Helm Smasher, which has been spoiled. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Smash.
Zergo Helm Smasher. They're based on speed, and their symbol is the wing of the dragon. Their theme is aggro, and their mechanic plays into their aggression.
He's a
So there's going to be some haste dudes. Some when they attack, they get counters. Maybe a lot of stuff like that.
Some beats.
Yeah, some beats. Dragons, those hasty dragons, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not dragons. Time traveling? I don't know.
Eventually.
So the last
We'll see dragons
The last
in
group-
at least 2 of the sets.
is the rug color combination. It's the Temur Frontier. Their main color is green. Their con is Surak Dragonclaw. They're based on savagery. Their symbol is the claw, and their theme is mid-range / fatties. Their mechanic wants them to have the toughest creatures, so giant dudes, maybe ramping into some big creatures,
I also
like
like
Rug
this
likes
one.
to do. Rug likes to do that. So.
I think I will be playing whatever that one is.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So we know Sarkon's in the set. They're wedges. There are 6 mechanics. One is morph, and each clan has a mechanic. One of them is returning. So we think maybe ninjutsu seems the most likely.
I mean,
Maybe.
it is like an Asian set,
I mean,
so
you could think maybe in the bug the soul type root that maybe they'll have dredge, but I doubt it because dredge is so overpowered. They said they probably won't do that again.
probably.
But resource manipulation, maybe dredge is kind of a thing that if they fix it, that might be something they do.
How do you feel about Morph coming back?
Morph,
Should we tell them what Morph is?
Yeah, morph is a way that if a creature has morph, you can either cast it normally, or you can pay 3 and play it as a 2/2, but it's upside down. So you flip it over and you see the back of the card. And it's just a 2/2, and it has a morph cost of a certain cost, and then you pay that anytime, and it flips over, becomes the creature that you want it to be.
Now, is it mandatory that when you play it for its 3-cost 2/2 to show the opponent what the card is?
You
No.
don't. That's why it's good, because they don't know what it is. So at any time you can just surprise. Here's something that breaks the game.
I see that. I think that is going to cause some judge. A
Now,
lot of
can
judge
you-
rulings.
Yeah,
Can
it
you
is.
flip it at any time, or is it only at sorcery speed that you can flip it?
I'm almost positive it's any time.
It's any time because
So
one
it's
of the
an instant
cards.
speed, flip it over.
It's
Yeah,
an ability.
But if it pays, you have to pay so much to flip it over, depending on what the card is.
Usually it's like
So.
somewhere. Well, I think there's. I think it specifically is Willbender. It's a 3-cost morph 2/2, and when you flip it over, you redirect the target of a spell.
See, my favorite one is Deranged Hermit. When it morphs, you get like 4 squirrel tokens, and the squirrels have +1/+1. It's like that's insane. But it's only when you morph it. So
Right.
morphing adds a lot of possibilities to the set. Different stuff they could print. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And they've said that Khans of Tarkir, the set, is based on these wedges.
Right.
Khans of Tarkir, the block, is not based on these wedges.
Where'd you see this, by the way?
This was in their
Yeah, that's
presentation on
that's,
Comic-Con.
that's continuing
Oh,
on
shit.
in
So
my
is that-
notes here.
No, I just saw pictures from it.
Oh, okay.
We have some information about the pre-release. The pre-release, players choose one of the 5 clans and get a box based on their clan. There are a total of 40 promo cards, and 8 per clan. 8. That's
You get a random one from your
insane.
clan.
Yeah. So we've seen recently people pick colors based on how good their promo is because Wizards started using promos as part of. You can use them in part of your deck.
Right.
So people are choosing colors only based on how good their promo is, which I've done.
I
Honestly.
did it this weekend.
It made blue so much worse recently
I still play
because
blue.
it was such a bad promo, and black was just so overpowered in the promo section. So I don't know.
Yeah, so that's eight promos per 8 promos per set per clan per
Yeah.
group
Um,
per wedge.
so so that means we're getting a random promo. Is that
Yeah,
is that
so
for sure?
that's what
Yeah, it's a random
Okay.
promo of those 8.
probably.
That's what they've said.
So
Okay.
this is their way, I'm assuming,
Is it-
of fixing that. So you pick
Yeah,
based on the colors. Not
It's
the
their
promo.
way of balancing out selection.
Wait, I have a
That's what
question.
they said
I have a
at
question,
Comic-Con.
Does that mean there's gonna be 8 3-color things you could get?
Probably not.
Probably not.
There's probably not going to be
I mean-
that many 3-color cards.
So is it gonna be a possibility? Well, I mean, like,
You'll probably see some 2-colored dudes, maybe some 1-colored dudes from in there.
so those 2-color ones could they be like part of a different clan then?
No.
Because I mean,
No. Those 8 will be associated with that clan.
Yeah.
So they'll do the hasty or the cunning or the
The resources
Big
or
fatties or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, they'll make sure that the promos will be something that is based on what they want you to do with the card, like what the clan does.
oh, I thought that was like and it's not 3-color representing the whole entire clan. Then
it'll probably have their mechanic.
Yeah. So also
It's
we know
mechanic.
the box comes with a pin of your clan symbol, which is super cool.
yes, if I finally get some pan.
And there is an activity where you can fight for your clan, which is pretty sweet. I like how they're doing more and more that players choose their side and different storyline based stuff that makes the pre-release or like game day or something more fun.
Right.
I think that's cool.
Do you think this might be similar to the Mirrodin Besieged pre-release then?
No, because they've already said that these wedges are not going to play a huge role in further.
Right.
road.
But do you think there's going to be any? So what's the point to fight for your clan, or is that going to be like? These things to check off?
Well, it's probably gonna be like they did in Dragon's Maze, where whoever does the best is gonna get a more of a prize or something. Like they had the Dragon's Maze, like the race, if you remember that.
Right.
That you had your group, your guild, and then you won a prize if your guild did the best.
Yeah, but that wasn't fair. Cause we played Two-Headed Giant. We were both Orzhov, and Orzhov just kind of won because we won.
Right. Well, that's fine with me. I mean,
we're just kind of throwing it to the front of the line every time we played.
Yeah. The rest of the block we know that it's so Cons is based on wedges and the other ones aren't. When the second set is released, it will be drafted second set Cons, and then third set's released, it will be drafted set 3, set 3, set 2. So Cons will have no part in the drafting after the third set is released. So we know that. And the only actual card that was spoiled came from the Dual Decks Speed versus Cunning. It is the poster boy, Zergo Helm Smasher, who we know is the con of that group, whichever one, I forget.
Newspaper.
That's a pretty cool watermark.
Yeah, yes. They also said, Mardu is what they said that every card from a certain group, or a certain, I keep forgetting what to call them.
Clan.
Yeah, that's it. Clan. Every card from a certain clan that is definitely in that clan has a watermark on it, which is super cool. We saw that in Return to Ravnica.
Those are the wings. Okay.
Yeah, so Zergo Helm Smasher, you can look him up. He's a 5-cost, 2 and a Mardu, we'll call it. He's a legendary Orc Warrior, 7/2. He has haste when he has to attack every combat if able. He's indestructible as long as it's your turn, and when a creature dealt damage by Zergo Helm Smasher this turn dies, he gets a counter. So first thought about Zergo Helm Smasher. Playable?
He's a 5-cost.
He's a 5-cost 7/2. Did you say he has haste?
He has haste.
He has haste.
His
He
haste has to attack, and when something that he hit dies, he gets counter.
And when he swings,
So it's like a better Phyto Titan.
Except
So
that
he
he's
doesn't
not
back.
coming back.
He doesn't actually die, though.
but he is indestructible when he swings, because you swing on your turn, probably.
Right. So a better Phyto Titan.
It's anti battle trick on your turn. It's anti instant speed killing. They have to kill it during their turn, which honestly isn't that bad because there's more killing on the opponent's turn than on yours, like sorcery speed killing and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Or they have to waste a minute to sit on their turn.
yeah,
But it's also top deck on a clean board.
right. By
7 damage.
itself, it's fantastic. So it's an easy 7
I
damage
think-
if you have that.
He and his buddies attacking will be good.
Yeah.
He himself is not that great.
Let's just say I'm glad that this.
When he has a clan behind him, he'll be good.
I'm just glad that this isn't going to be out at the same time as all the Boros stuff.
Yeah.
It may or may not be notable, but this card will be legal in Legacy for a short time before it's legal in Standard.
That is true.
I don't think it's going to.
It's probably not going to matter,
Not
but
matter.
it mattered
At
for
5 costs, not gonna matter.
it mattered for Is It Charm, but not for this.
Yeah.
Is It Charm was legal a little bit before.
At 5 costs in those 3 colors.
So that's what we know about cons. It looks
Wait,
like a pretty sweet set.
What do you think? What do you think your clan is going to be? Like your favorite clan? Wait, never mind. I don't know.
What's the rug one?
The rug one, the Temur Frontier.
That's me. Temur
Yeah.
Frontier.
Which one's Jund?
There's no Jund one.
There's no Jund.
Oh.
Jund is a name one.
Jund is
If you can name it like that, it's not in there.
Oh.
If it's not Murica, Bug, Rug, the newspaper.
Yeah,
and
which one's America?
Murica is the Jeskai way.
Okay, I'm gonna call it America.
The tricks.
They're-
The tricksters like we
No,
Americans like to
America
do.
has cunning.
What
Oh,
do
yeah,
you-
it's right there.
What do you think on whether or not these names will stick? Or
They-
people keep calling them Bug, Rug, America.
Quite frankly, they're hard to remember. Maybe that's just because I just started seeing them and
That's
using
fair.
them. But
I mean, the shards were the same way at first.
and for some reason, it'll probably stick with some
Well,
people.
it's like what? What was that one called? America? What was it called?
Jeskai?
Just guy.
Jessica. That's a whole lot harder to remember than Jund. And
Well, I mean, Bant, Esper, those ones
Grixis.
they're not necessarily.
Grixis
They
is-
seem more German, more like not necessarily these are definitely like an Asian kind of.
Yeah,
The other names seem like more of American style names.
because they're Germanic.
Yeah.
I feel like Mordu could stick because no one plays those colors.
Yeah, the black, white, red is the only color combination that doesn't have a definite name.
It doesn't
People
have
say
a name,
Dega.
so the name could stick.
The closest thing to a name that those colors have is Dega.
That was from like the community thing.
I call it newspaper because it's hilarious, but black, white, and red all over. But yeah, I think they might. They seem weird right now,
I think Junk will still be called Junk.
Junk will still be Junk.
Yeah, America will still be called America.
Is that gonna be your clan? The Junk clan?
Junk or Mardu. The black, white ones seem the coolest to me. I like in this order. I like Mardu, Abzan, and then I like Sultai, and then Rug and the Rug and the American ones, Jeskai and Temur, don't seem as interesting to me.
I
don't know why.
Which one has the big fat fatties?
That would be the Temur Frontier, the Rug guys.
Yeah, I want the big fat fatties.
Those are me.
That will be my
big
pre-release
fat
choice.
fatties.
Mark my words.
That'll be what I'm playing pre-release too.
And what do you guys play? You said
Temur.
I don't care what it's called. Big fat fatties.
It'll really depend on what comes out. But without any spoilers, I'm saying Mardu's my favorite, just because those colors are the coolest to me.
What's that?
Newspaper?
Yeah, newspaper. So.
This is really hard for me, actually.
I'm going with Mardu or Temur. I'm probably going to play Temur because Big Fat Fatties is better than Beats.
Yeah, it's like, what do you like? Endurance, cunning, ruthlessness, speed, or savagery? Like
savagery.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm probably either going to be going with Jeskai or Temur, even though they're like exact opposites. You know, like one color difference, but
there's only one color difference, but like, they are opposite.
It's like cunning and tricks,
I do like
speed. Fatties.
I like the speed a lot because the speed beats control, speed beats fatties, but
it's to Mardu.
At the end of the day, if I'm playing in a pre-release, I want fatties.
Yeah, if I'm playing in pre-release, that's a good point.
I'm not talking about
in sealed. I'm playing fatties.
I'm talking about like just in general, like for the other ones, I'm Bant.
Yeah.
Bant's me.
What like
you're John. You're what
I don't know.
I played Bant for a long time too.
Naya, you're Naya.
I relate to Orzhov. I relate to Orzhov more than
I'm Naya or John.
Yeah. I don't actually have a shard that I like.
Which is probably why I'm playing Timur, because I think they're the only ones who bring both the green and the red.
Not the only one.
Yeah, no.
They're the only ones who bring
the green, red.
Yeah. Huh. What do you know?
So yeah, that's probably why I'm there. That's probably why I feel such a
One more thing. I think it's cool that I like Abzan and Mardu, and I think it's cool that Abzan, the junk one, they're based on control, and they want to have a long game. And I think that Mardu is cool because it is aggro. They only have one color difference. Red and green. If you add the green, it's a control deck, and if you add the red, it's an aggro deck. I think that's really weird and kind of cool. I don't know.
I don't know
what they're going to do.
It's really cool if you switch one color out.
Yeah.
Also, another good point to make. These will each bring new commanders.
Yeah, there will be at least 5 new commanders.
We should also mention though that each of these does have a main color.
Yeah. The Abzan, the junk is white, the America is blue, the bug is black, the newspaper is red, and the rug is green. So.
Which is probably why I'm feeling such a strong pull towards Rockman.
Because it's green.
It's green. Green's my color.
I'm looking at either the Jeskai way or Temur. I think there's 2 reasons. One, they're the only ones that have Is It. And they're also the only.
Just very goose.
Just very me. And they're also the only ones that don't have black. Which is very not me.
I love playing black. That's my favorite color to play. But
honestly, I'm probably Temur as well.
Well, to be honest, if you're playing in standard, you're probably gonna have to play 4 caryatids and 4 coursers anyway.
That's true.
So I'm probably just gonna stick with green.
Yeah, green is the new.
Good.
Green is so good right now because it's ramping and it's also card draw. It's more card draw than blue is right now.
Green seems
insane.
Green seems so good right now.
So.
And there's the distinct disadvantage of your opponent knowing what's on top of your deck, but that's not enough to force you to not play another land.
The only time it really comes into play like a lot is when they have like a Nightfell Spectre. So the only time I ever feel like, oh come on.
Yeah, it's like they can see what they're taking from me.
Okay, I do. Okay, so the next question from me about this lands. I don't remember what they did.
There's going to be some land fixing.
What did they do in shards?
They did the tapped tap for 3. They come in tapped and tapped for 3 colors.
Right.
One of each.
So they did that, and so that might be something they do here. But
we might see that. It'd be kind of cool.
Almost definitely. I feel like
if we have those, I'm playing aggro.
They will almost certainly.
But
they will fix the
lands.
Yes. At 3 colors, they'll fix lands.
Did they do any rare lands in Shards Walk?
They probably did. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Can't think of any.
I don't know. I just starting to play as Shards.
I know. I don't remember any. Because I'm just thinking, like, what could they do to do mana fixing? Like, obviously, everyone wants the onslaught.
Everyone wants fetches, and they might even, since this is a wedge thing, and then we're forgetting the wedges entirely. We might see them in the second set, even. Like, that would be cool. So, I feel like I'm not going to be totally disappointed and totally put off if we don't see those in this set. Because I'm thinking there may be hope for them in the second or third set.
I'm just curious what kind of lands they could do.
Probably just the tap ones. I don't know. They might pull something off. You never know. Like, they always think of new things to put with lands.
Sure.
Yeah, they panoramas.
Yes,
That's
Panoramas.
What do they do?
They search for one
They
of the
tap
lands.
for a colorless, or you can pay one, tap, and sack them.
Okay.
Search for
Those
one
are
of the
using
three.
Commander and like nothing else right now. They may be using. They probably almost definitely use the
So
standard.
there's a chance we'll see panoramas.
And those
Well,
look.
fetches were legal during the time of shards.
Yeah. Those look good for like Corsair Crewfix. I feel like that's going to be a good home for panoramas. If you think about it, like it's a land, and then it's a land. It's 2 land drops, and it's also a way to shuffle if you don't like your top card.
That's true.
It's something that I've noticed a lot.
That's a really good point.
So
So,
fetches could
Corsair's
be.
getting better. We know
It's
that.
also a way to fish out of lands from your deck.
Well,
so fishing.
like, yeah.
Yeah. So you're fishing. If you print fetch lands, pretty much it's shuffle. You don't like the thing on top. 2 land drops with Caryatid, or not Caryatid, Corsair,
Mhm.
and thinning your deck.
Yeah.
Which brings
All
me to my
good
next
things.
point. Bring back Mind Sculptor.
Bring back Mind Sculptor? Probably not.
Probably not.
What?
I
Jason,
want it to happen.
Jason's gonna take a break. I'm pretty.
Did they
pretty
say
Sure.
how many planeswalkers are coming?
They didn't say how many. All we know is Sarkhan is involved.
Yeah, we know Sarkon's coming.
That's all we know.
And it's big, small, big.
Yes.
Big, small, big.
The lead designers are Mark Rosewater and Eric Lauer, who were the designers behind Innistrad and Theros.
Yeah.
So feeling good about the odds that this is going to be a really good set or block.
Yeah, it's gonna be big.
All right.
Stuff is gonna happen.
Anything else?
Fun.
Honestly, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm glad that we're out. Well, I'm glad that you're out of school. I hope you guys do a
Me
good
too.
enough job.
I hope I get a good enough job I can afford to keep playing
or start playing again.
or start playing.
Yeah.
Start playing some other than Commander.
Yes. Although
And-
this is gonna be, I think it's gonna be really good for Commander too.
It's gonna be solid for
and
Commander. Yeah.
a fantastic segue into let's talk about Commander.
That's a great
New
segue.
new Commander cards were spoiled. There
that
were
was
2.
a really good segue.
Yeah. That's-
Well done.
I mean, you did it. I mean,
That was beautiful. We didn't mean to do
Quite.
that.
I mean, stop.
I don't know where.
We're so cool.
I
We
had
do
something
that.
somewhere. So I think we all saw the spoiler for Teferi.
Yes.
Not as a creature.
Yeah, Teferi, not the dude, the Planeswalker. We all knew he was a Planeswalker, but I think last time he was actually printed was
I didn't know that.
I knew that, but
I knew that.
I didn't know that.
So the last time we saw him, it was before Planeswalkers were cards. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Venser and Karn. Like we know they're Planeswalkers, but this is now we can actually make them a Planeswalker. And he's pretty cool. The main thing about Teferi that we like and that everyone's kind of going crazy about is the fact that he can be used as a commander. He's a mono blue Planeswalker, or Planeswalker. 6 cost mono blue Planeswalker that can be used as a commander.
Yeah.
It says that on the card
It says it
itself.
on the card itself.
He sleight of hands. He untaps permanents, and he
4
makes it. Yeah, he makes it so you can play your Planeswalker abilities anytime you want.
That's just the ultimate.
So, in my mind, I look at Teferi. Commander's obviously his home. I feel like it's not going to be used in anything else but Commander.
I feel like
It'll be legal in Legacy,
It'll
but
be
I
Legacy.
seriously doubt
Yeah,
it.
no.
It's not good enough that it's going to be good in Legacy, but I don't like him as a commander necessarily, but just as another part of a commander deck. Maybe a
Yeah,
Planeswalker-themed commander deck. So eventually, if you pop him, using
Super
all the
Friends
Planeswalkers-
Commander deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have like doubling season, he enters with double counters, and then you can just go
Yeah,
crazy.
no, that'd be
You
ridiculous.
immediately minus 10 him. He enters with 10, minus 10 him, and then you get
You
bunch of stuff.
play all your abilities.
Immediately just go 8.
So, for those of you
I
who
want to build this deck. now.
looking for a sweet deck to play, I recommend 5-color Planeswalkers.
5-color Planeswalkers.
yeah, why
I
not?
think I'm going to try it.
Use some
If you-
If I have the
Progenitus-
source. of cards.
Progenitus or Child of Alara, just play a bunch of Planeswalkers.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Or, any
So-
slivers.
But so let's talk about the kind of overall thing with new commander decks.
yeah, we've seen the only 2 cards we have spoiled are Teferi and Google Color Giza, who's the commander, a black commander that makes zombies.
Well, did we say that they're monocolored decks?
They didn't say that, but we know that one of the decks is mono blue, and as Teferi. He's the cover guy. So we can only assume to keep it fair. There's 5 different decks.
Yeah, it's gonna be 5,
one of each color,
probably.
which is pretty cool. I think that actually means that we're gonna see a lot of better cards in this. Not necessarily. I've noticed that with multicolored cards, they get better the more colors you add.
It's true.
Which means like you can only play them in certain decks. With monocolored decks, for these to be as good as the ones they've released recently, they're gonna have to be really good cards. Really good monocolored cards or good artifacts like Sensei's Divining Top. I think like I've heard some people talk about it in my play group at school, and they think that Divining Top is almost definitely going to be in this, and people will say, why is that? That's way too good of a card, and then they'll respond, Soul Ring was too good, so
that's true.
And they printed that, so
that is true.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like a thing. So I think they're going to put some really, really cool cards in this.
I'd like to see a coat of arms. Ooh.
The only thing I'm worried about is my bank account, because I'm going to want to buy 4 of the 5 bills. Maybe all 5.
We're probably going to get a deal. I usually get a deal for all 5 for 120. So these are MSRP 35. So $35 a deck, to start out. They're probably going to jump or spike or go down depending on how good they are. But
do you think that they're gonna? There's gonna be 40 new cards?
I think it's more than that. I think there's like 60 new cards in this.
Okay, because they did put something on the
there's
front of the box. That said,
but there's 15. There's 15 new cards in the blue one.
Yes.
So
if there's 15 in each,
75.
Yeah, there's 15 in each one. There's 75 new cards.
But there's probably also have to assume that there's going to be some reprints between all 5 decks.
Yeah.
And there's
If they want to keep it totally even, 15 new cards a deck sounds pretty sweet. So
it might be 15 new cards a deck, but 5 of those cards maybe were in all 5.
But they have to be like artifacts.
Yeah.
Or lands.
If they're all speculated to be monocolored decks. There's not a whole lot of
I have another question.
Yeah, I mean artifacts.
I have another question.
The crossover.
Do you guys think they're going to put Command Tower in these decks?
Probably
I feel like it's only
not.
fair to put Command Tower in those.
Yeah, I feel like
But there's only one color.
There's
So
only
why
one color.
why do it?
It's a single color deck, so
Right.
why not just have a
It's,
bunch of islands?
I feel like it's cheap enough now.
Or
There's
fetch
really no purpose.
There's no purpose.
to go
Yeah.
fit
Maybe
down.
Soul Ring,
But then again, if you watch the last episode, we know that Wizards doesn't print things because of the price being out of control.
I think they do.
Tarmogoyf.
Sometimes they do.
Dark
To answer that,
Univault, Thoughtseize.
Fetch lands.
please. We're hoping that they do it for fetch lands.
What do you mean, please fetch lands? Please Tarmogoyf.
No,
Confident on.
I don't play those colors.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean,
matter.
this would be a good place for them to put these modern cards that
This would be a
everybody's
good place,
griping for.
actually, because it wouldn't affect standard.
Yeah, they would each get
But it would-
one of those crazy cards that everyone wants. The green would get Goyf, the black would get Bob.
No,
Yeah.
no.
The blue
Yeah,
would get
I think that'd be wonderful.
or Cryptic,
Not
whatever.
in the Commander deck, though.
No, I think it'd be wonderful to have those in the commander.
I think it could be.
It'd be great. It's not going to happen.
I think they should do it.
It would be easy for them to put a cycle of the commands. So Cryptic will be printed again. That sounds doable. Everybody gets a command. That's why not.
Yeah,
Because
actually,
the other 4
they did
commands
it-
are awful.
So when you open a booster pack, you'll either be happy you got Cryptic, or you'll cry that you got any of the other 4.
A booster pack.
we're talking about commander.
Oh,
these
commander.
will be guaranteed.
Okay, so
cards.
everyone's going to buy the blue deck.
Right. That's why I don't think they can do that either.
So 35, you're paying half price for Cryptic Command, and then you can throw the rest away. Except for Teferi.
I mean, we did that with the greatest one with the True Name.
Yeah, True Name never-
Right, but that was
did
that was a new card. That was like a reprint. It was a new card, and
It's
then
the same idea though.
but they messed up. I think is the point. They just
Why did they mess up?
like they don't. I don't think they meant for it to be that good in Legacy.
I definitely think they thought of it. Like, you can't print the card and not think, how's this going to do in Legacy? Like, they obviously had some idea. And then they.
Yeah, I think they knew what they were
True
doing.
Name Nemesis isn't that good in Legacy anyway. It honestly isn't.
But that's what happened with it. It was Legacy.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a good card, but it's not great. It's not overpowered. It's not a Mind Sculptor.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
But yeah, so we know about, like, the upside would be the cards are going to be super good. The downside being monocolor commander decks. I personally hate monocolor commander decks. I think it's like, why? There's so much more you could be doing with it.
It seems less fun.
These are definitely not going to be.
Honestly, I play
it's
2
outside
colors,
the
and I think
box.
3 colors is the most fun.
It also almost completely eliminates being mana screwed.
This
Kinda,
is true.
yeah.
I mean, you either are.
I don't
there is-
often get mana screwed
Yeah,
though.
there is-
Personally, I don't.
There's one
Not often.
mono colored deck I've ever seen played, and it was a mono blue one with that legendary artifact creature that had a blue ability. So it was an artifact deck that played blue.
Okay.
Now
I've seen a couple different monocolored decks. I used to play mono black. It wasn't good, but I played it. I've seen mono green is definitely a thing. Omnath, Locus of Mana is really good as a commander.
That seems fair.
They could print that, as a commander maybe. I don't know. I've seen some monocolored decks be good.
Is Gulclor Disa a new card?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
She
so
is new.
they're each going to get a new card at least.
Yes.
Probably in the
As a commander.
It looks like they did with this last commander. It's probably going to be one of the commanders will be new.
Yeah.
Do you
One
think?
or
I
two.
think that'd be wonderful.
One or two.
Do you think that each one's gonna get a planeswalker?
No.
Commander.
No, I don't
No.
think so.
No,
That'd be ridiculous.
I read somewhere
That doesn't
someone
seem
wanted.
fair.
Someone wanted these, these definitely the planeswalkers, like we get Urza and all this, like these what? I don't know. Like this,
That would be kind of cool.
Urza would be blue.
so like there's not enough room for each color to have a new. Like that's too much at one time. I'm sorry.
That's too much. That's too much for at once.
We
How
asked
do
for a
you
lot
can't
as
release
fans, but we
5
can't get
planes?
I'm just trying to think of like a fairness to all the other 4 colors.
That is true.
Teferi's good,
Yeah.
but once you get past the fact that my planeswalker is my commander, it's really not.
No, I agree. They seem to be doing this quite a bit though now, where they are releasing like planeswalkers that aren't going to see standard.
Like Deck Faden, yeah.
Like Deck Faden, and now Teferi.
Well, I mean, yeah, people love planeswalkers. Planeswalkers are the most interesting
Yeah.
card type in the game. So
Yeah.
people ask for more planeswalkers, we get it.
Yeah, we just don't get them in standard.
I mean,
I'm okay with that.
I am too.
Kiora was a planeswalker that was created by the people that did Duels of Planeswalkers. It wasn't actually part of Magic lore until that game came out.
Yeah. How many years later did she?
It was
2 or 3?
1 or 2. It was probably, I think it was actually like they put it in.
They put it in Magic 12.
12.
Yeah, and then the
So
people
3 years ago.
Wizards created the set. They were making the set that she was in at the time, and like let's put this in, so because like sets are created a year or so before
Right.
they actually
So it was
come
probably
out. So it was right around the time where she was released in that game that they thought let's put her in. So
What's her home plane?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
we don't know a lot of planeswalkers on planes. What Chandra?
We know Sarkhan's.
Yeah, Sarkhan now. There's a lot of room. So
No, actually, we had known that this was his home plane.
Yeah.
They had said
we've just never been there. So,
Tarkir.
Yeah.
This is our first time going. So it's
cool.
not a new plane,
Awesome.
but it's a new plane to us.
So commander stuff.
Commander looks good. It's being released in November, like November 1st
I think it was November 9th.
Is it?
or 9th.
Is
around
it gonna?
then.
Is it gonna be
First
a
10
unlimited?
days of...
It's not gonna be a limited print run. Is
I
it?
don't know. It's
It's
probably
still-
going to be just like this last one. So no.
Yeah.
It's not
The
limited.
last one came out last year, right? Seems pretty soon to be reprinting.
Actually, according to MTG Salvation, Kiora's birthplace is Zendikar.
That's what I kind of
That
thought.
makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I wondered. That's what I was
Excellent.
wondering.
Now we know. Awesome.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. We're not going to see Eldrazi.
Shut up.
Goose wants it. I want it. We're not going to see it.
I don't want it, and we're not going to see it.
And I want to see a playable Tybalt. Darn it.
I think Tybalt has potential to be the
Return
best
Innistrad.
Hey, they can throw that in the commander deck. Make him a commander.
The mono red.
Not as a commander.
Yes.
Reprint the old Tybalt so it'll drop to like 20 cents a card.
Yes,
So
exactly.
everyone will have Tybalts
Exactly.
that hate themselves. Okay.
Except this will say it could be your commander.
Or they could make a new Tybalt.
They could.
No. I don't want to.
No. It's not going to happen.
Why not?
It's
They made Chandra playable. Why not?
Why not?
Miracles can happen. What do we learn from Evan's
Why
story?
can't they reprint?
What did we learn? Miracles can happen. Terminate.
Why can't they
We learned that
reprint?
Tammy
Make
was
a
a
new.
They could make a new Tybalt. He just sucked. So
Right. Which is another
Alright.
reason why they need to make a new one.
Anywho, we're gonna
They-
move on
Make
at some
another one
point.
also sucks.
Like they did Chandra.
He was
Exactly.
he was adequate for 2 mana. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Moving
What else? What else do we have to talk about? Stuff that happened.
Continue driving this forward.
Okay.
We
I guess that's my job today is dragging us forward.
Yeah, sorry. Do you want to do event reports?
Yeah. So we were totally wrong last week about
We were-
what was going to happen.
yeah, we lied.
We got a report from some source
I don't remember where.
that certain GPs and events were
remember
happening.
where.
We were wrong. We apologize. There were not 2 standard
We blame
GPs
Goose.
last week. There was one GP and it was modern. So we'll talk about that first. The Grand Prix Boston Worcester. It was modern, and top 8 was the most interesting top 8 I've ever seen in any event. Yeah, for anything. I watched I watched the most of the actual event, or at least day 2.
I didn't watch this.
It was really cool. The top 8 went out like this. 8th place was Blue Moon. 7th was Junk. 6th was Infect. 5 Infinity. 4 Affinity. 3 Infect. 2 Jund, and 1 was Junk. So.
What's Blue Moon?
Blue Moon is.
Where have you been?
Blue Moon is a blue control deck with Blood Moon in it.
It's pretty much
awesome.
It's pretty much a mono blue deck that plays Blood Moon.
Islands and Blood Moon. Anyway, so
cool. It's cool.
deck.
Basically, Modern just has so many non-basic lands that if you play a Blood Moon, they can't do anything.
A lot of times Blood Moon will win you the game.
Cool. Okay.
I think it's cool. One thing I noticed, I think a lot of people noticed, was there's no pod or twin in the top 8.
That's
wow.
sweet.
Yeah, I didn't realize
these are the two pillars of the format, and we didn't see them. I know that I think pod was 10 and 11, so they were close to making the top 8. There were at least 15 or 16 X2s, so these were just the best tiebreakers got in. So there were a lot of people that could have made top 8 that didn't, because it was like 2,500 people in this tournament.
What I'm really impressed with is that Junk's in the top 8 twice. Junk's in there. And
Junk won it.
Yeah, Junk won it.
Junk won. Yeah.
In fact, is in there twice.
Yeah, there were 3 mirror matches in the top 8. There was a Junk mirror, an Infect mirror, and Affinity mirror, and then there was Jund and Blue Moon. Jund beat Blue Moon somehow. It was Thrawn the last troll beat Blue Moon. Eventually, the final life totals were like 85-0 because it was a Thrawn with Batterskull on it.
Oh.
There's nothing they could do about it. There's nothing you could do.
I left the room several times watching that game.
That match took at least 2 hours. It was fantastic, but it was good.
I really need to watch this.
So yeah, I think it's cool. My personal experience tells me Junk is the new one of the new decks. It may not be the pillar like Pod or Splitter Twin, but I got beat by a Junk deck at the last PTQ I went to, and that deck won the whole thing.
What is the
so Junk? I think Junk is a thing.
What is the Junk deck?
It's a black-green shell, so it's a rock shell like Jund is, but they play cards like Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls is like one of the only cards that you definitely need to have. Lingering Souls will beat, by itself, a lot of decks in Modern.
That also offers Path to Exile, too. Though.
Yeah, Path to Exile is also a card you can use. So yeah, I think Junk is pretty cool. The Lingering Souls beats Affinity, it beats Infect. It's really good against Jund. So I've always been an advocate for Lingering Souls being one of the best cards in Modern, but it hasn't really come out of its shell until recently. So the tournament was really good.
That's really exciting.
A lot of fun to watch.
Exciting. It's exciting that you don't see pillars in the top 8.
Yeah, but I will admit that those 2 decks did determine who made it to top 8 because these are the decks that beat those 2 decks the best.
Right.
Yes.
We know that those 2 decks were played the most. We know that. These are the decks that can beat those decks. So eventually we may see a lot less Pod, a lot less Splitter Twin, but even though we didn't see any top 8, we know that they made a big difference in the tournament.
Right.
So,
from what you saw, did any of the cards that got printed in N15 make a difference?
I saw some in Soul Artifact in Affinity. That was pretty cool. It didn't work out the one time I saw it happen.
What happened?
It just got killed. It was an Ornithopter with Cradle Plating and Soul Artifact. It just got killed. It was just like Abrupt Decay, the Ornithopter. So I mean, it was against a Jund deck. So I mean, probably not. I didn't see anything when I was watching.
God bless you. God bless
Pardon me.
Yeah. So so far N15 isn't doing a whole lot in Modern. I did see something in Legacy that was N15, but it wasn't really because it was Phyrexian Revoker, which has already been a card, but it was an N15 card. It had a silver dot on it, so that was cool. Yeah. So that was a good tournament. Also, Saturday and Sunday we had Star City games standard. They Legacy do obviously, but we had standard in Kansas City.
Kansas City.
And so once again, Green White Aggro made a big splash there. Someone got second place last time with Green White Aggro. This time they won.
Nice.
Green White Aggro got first place. Second place was John Midrange, which we'll talk about in a minute. Black White Midrange was third. Mono Blue was fourth. White Weenies deck with red was next. The John Monsters, and Mono Black got 7th and 8th. So in the top 32, I have a metagame breakdown. There were 9 Mono Black decks in the top 32. And then John Midrange, there was 4 of them. There were 3 Black White Midrange and Blue White Control decks, 2 Green White Aggro decks, 2 John Monsters decks, 2 Burn decks, and a bunch of 1-ups. Notably, there was an Eye Tokens deck, an Eye Midrange deck, a red deck wins, 1 Esper Control deck, and a mono green deck with black splash. So, there was a lot of different decks represented, but mono black obviously made a big difference. A lot like we just talked about in Modern. If you beat mono black, you'll do well. So, yeah, because there's a lot of them. So John Midrange is a deck that got second place. I have the deck list, the second place deck list right here on my iPad. Something we noticed, the only creatures in this deck are 4 Sylvan Caryatid and 4 Corsair Crucifix. Really good cards. So
right, so like we talked about before.
Only creatures?
The only creatures in the main board were Caryatid and Corsair. And then we had 10 Planeswalkers. There were 2 Pyramasters, 2 Apex Predators, 2 Liliana Vests, 2 Vraskas, and 2 Xenagos the Reveler. Then there were some lands and 18 kill or draw spells, or discard spells. So, a lot like the Jund decks of old, we see, this time it's Planeswalkers being the big hitters, but before we had Thragtusk and Unmaster and Olivia Voldaren, now we have Chandra, Garruk, and Vraska.
No, you don't.
So,
I don't.
I definitely do.
A lot like a normal
I'll miss it.
mid-range deck, it's low-cost kill spells and higher-cost threats that win you the game.
I missed the Buffalo.
In the sideboard, you'll notice here there's 4 Stormbreath Dragons. Not in the main, inside. Whatever. I don't know. I didn't actually see the end of this tournament, so I don't know how he used Stormbreath Dragon. But I imagine he just put it in against decks that it just beats. Stormbreath Dragon wins some games by itself. And sometimes it's not very good. I'm not sure when. It's not good, but it must not be good at some time. So, game 1 at least. So, apparently, I heard a while ago that there was, on Magic Online, there was a Jund Planeswalker deck running around, and they haven't gotten N15 yet. Or I guess they just did recently.
We just got
just did. So this was even before this Jund Planeswalker Parade deck was a thing even before they got Garruk and Liliana Vests. So I think that this definitely is a deck that you should watch out for. There were 4 of them that were built a lot like this. Some of them having the new Nissa in the top 32. So it's a thing. It's good. Apex Predator, it's a thing.
Is a thing.
So
is a thing.
And I'm happy about it because that's a sweet card. Yeah.
Okay, I do have a question, and if someone's gonna yell at me for asking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So this Weenies deck.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Why are you asking about it?
White Weenies.
I'm just curious. Like, what is going on here?
This one's a little different. There were some new cards in this one. I guess only Johnny Steadfast is the only. That and Battlefield Forge were the only new cards in this deck. It's literally just a white weenie shell with some red for Boros Charm. Raise the Alarm is also new, I guess. The only red in it.
Okay, so it is Raise the Alarm's actually being used.
Yeah, Raise the Alarm is in it. Just normal Boros Charm, Brave the Elements. There's a Hall of Triumph, which obviously is going to name white. Johnny Steadfast is going to pump your team. It seems good. There's nothing really big about it.
I was curious what was going on there.
It's just somebody playing an already established deck that is just
they did pretty well with it.
just hoping to catch somebody off guard.
It just happened to run its way through pretty well.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, it's. I mean,
We probably just got good matches.
So it had nothing special about it. It just happened to catch people off guard.
Yeah, I like the one of Gideon, Champion of Justice, that they have in this deck. I've for a long time. I remember back in the day, we have a group that we have on Facebook that we talk about some spoilers that come out when we're all like in separate places. We have a way to say, hey, check this card out. I want you guys to tell me what you think. And when I saw Gideon Champion of Justice spoiled like 2 years ago, years ago, I was like, this card's going to be great. And then it wasn't. But it's actually getting a little bit of use.
Poor Chad.
It's getting a little bit of use, at least now, as a one-of sideboard, so thank goodness for that. You can, I mean, you can make fun of this card all you want, but sometimes you just can't beat it. It's just really good. So.
All right.
Yeah. So standard and modern especially seems super healthy right now. A lot of we were driving to Jordan and I were driving somewhere last week, and I was like, I want to see if I can name 30 established modern decks, and I did. So the fact that there are 30 decks out there, possibly that can win an entire tournament.
That was on our way to hopefully pick up tools that we needed to play in the PTQ that following week.
And we got a couple, but not as many as we wanted.
We found a couple, but not enough for me to play the deck I wanted to.
Right.
What was the deck you want to play?
I wanted to play red.
Red.
We were
Red.
Well,
Red.
Red.
Okay.
Red.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't have the Goblin Guides I needed, and they didn't have the Searing Blaze I needed.
Oh, I have Searing Blazes.
Anyway, yeah. So modern's healthy.
Modern.
Standard's healthy. Mono black may have lost its reign. I guess I just realized there's only in this top 32.
Mm-hmm.
There were 3 blue-eye control decks and 1 Esper control deck. Is this the fall of Esper control or blue-eye control variants as a thing?
Well, control decks have not been as good as they used to be.
I think it's more of just a drop in popularity because everybody wants to play the other things.
I think that's a big factor there.
I think that's more than
is that people are tired of playing control.
It hasn't lost its credibility or anything. I think
it's still
just
a good deck. It's just
more people want to play different things because they're sick of playing control. Because when I played control, I went full length every match, and I usually ended up throwing up on the way home and having to stop and get something for a headache.
I feel like the
Twice.
the control decks currently just their finishers aren't as good as they used to be.
Yeah, I feel like you're right there.
I mean,
Yes, it has good finishers. But
Aetherling's a pretty good finisher.
Aetherling's about as good of a finisher as you could ever have.
He's a little bit better than the best finisher I can really think of.
but
If I can design one, that's
it
it.
just seems like the current way that so the first control deck I remember ever seeing was back when I was playing very beginning. It was right before Dark Ascension. So Sandcastles were in, and it was an Esper control deck. And honestly, half the time that what was going on was it was just Snapcaster beats, and so you were getting damage in early, just die fast. But the way the whole deck was, they had mana leaks so that the whole deck just seems so much different than what it used to be.
Yeah, like the control decks right now are about as control as they can possibly be. It's a lot less like sneaking in some damage here, or putting some creatures out. You may see some sideboard Archangel Thune or Prognostic Sphinx,
Right.
God forbid. But this is a lot more. Supreme Verdict is something that shaped the format. Revelation shaped the format. It's just wiping the board, and I'll play an established thing that won't die, like Elspeth or Aetherling. And it's going to be weird to see that go, because it's been a thing for 2 years now, that it's not really going to be straight control anymore. It's just going to be a control deck that's kind of like play a dude that blocks really well, and some draw spells and some other stuff, some kill spells.
I've kind of noticed countering things isn't very popular in Standard.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't seen anything
to be
countered.
Really just
I think we don't have anything good to counter anything with anymore. Like, we don't have Mana Leak. We don't have a Remand. We don't have anything like, Dissipate's back now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the best we got.
Dissolve, Dissipate, Syncopate, Negate, Dispel. This is like the only really decent
Swan Song.
Yeah. Swan Song, I guess so, but like.
But I think we need a 2-cost hard counter. I think that will improve control.
I actually want to see
Spell
Mana
Rupture.
Leak. I miss Mana Leak.
I miss the time of going. This card? Question.
It's like,
Is it going to happen?
on turn 5, you have to wait until like turn 5 to play your 2-cost, just in case they have a Mana Leak in their hand. Living with that kind of fear, we haven't had that for a while.
Yeah.
People
been
just
too
kind
long
of throw
since you
down
saw
their
the-
stuff now, and there's nothing you can do about it because it takes you till turn 3 to get a credible hard counter going. I miss Mana Leak. I think Mana Leak would be, or maybe just to fix prices a little bit, let's throw in Force of Will into Standard.
Yeah,
Never
that's. I don't think anyone.
I'd love to see them printed.
It's
Not
wishful thinking.
Standard.
You're on your own.
It's wishful thinking.
What's
but
the other one that's like a counter target activated ability?
Oh,
No, if it's
dang it! Why can't I remember?
Legacy card.
Yeah, I know. Stifle.
Stifle, that's it.
Yeah. I don't know. If you print first of all, you got to print the entire cycle, and of course,
Well,
literally, no one knows any of the other four because they're so bad.
I didn't know there was a cycle.
They're so bad.
I didn't know there
So
was.
basically, what we've learned is the two cards we've said, if you print this, you got to print the entire cycle.
But
The blue one's the good one. The rest come.
I mean, I guess they did. They printed
Well,
Cryptic
the
Command
boons
and
are
Modern Masters and
close
not
to
the
the
other
same
ones,
way.
so I guess they don't have to.
Right. Well, what if?
Actually,
What
the boons
if?
really were the same
What
way.
if?
The boons were the same way. The blue one's the.
Well, and then no, because then it was blue, red, then green, then black. No, black was in there.
What
Oh,
if Force of Will gets reprinted
White
in the
Force.
Teferi Commander deck?
That would be cool.
That happens, and the deck is gonna be bought out.
Yeah, that deck would just be bought out.
It would
period.
be a good $150 or something for that deck, like some ridiculous number. $100 at least for that deck alone.
And the fact that if they put Sensei's Divine Top in there alone is gonna make the deck worth it. Because Divine Tops are expensive.
So basically,
All right.
what we want isn't happening
No.
because they know the prices.
It's all speculation, but I think Standard
This is all speculation.
Standard needs some lower cost control stuff.
It does because
I think-
control will die.
As many times as Mana Leak's been
Dying out.
reprinted, as many times as Birds
Oh.
of Paradise has been reprinted, they need to come back.
But yeah,
They,
speaking
they produce equilibrium, and it's just not there right now.
Llanowar Elf.
back to the point of real quick, back to the point of the control decks. I kind of forgotten about this. They're losing two of the best cards. Revelation,
The dual lands.
And Verdict.
Revelation, and Verdict. So I'm speaking.
Also
of.
D-Sphere.
And D-Sphere.
Those are the three pillars of
Yeah, they're gonna
the
So-
control decks recently.
And so like
unless they print.
the card for control decks is a board wipe. I think
Yeah.
you can use it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's still board wipes. They're still there. They're just significantly
Four
more expensive.
cost board wipes.
Right.
It used to be Day Judgment, and then it became Supreme Verdict, which is even better.
We're even losing Planar Cleansing.
You have what?
So, for control to continue living the way it has lived, which it might not, we need a board wipe. And let's say, God forbid, there's nothing good in the next set. And if we're stuck with what we have right now, Magic will be about who has the best mid-range deck.
Yep.
And as we saw that last Pro Tour, that the block is just
Green.
play a better mid-range deck. Play more Elspeths or
And that was
you know.
my biggest thing with the last Pro Tour. It was just, let's put Elspeth in this, protect it. That's the deck.
Yep.
And the next one, we're going to play Bug, because that's all we have left.
We're playing Bug because it can beat Elspeth. Like, that is why they did it. They
Yeah.
played Prognostic Sphinx as like a 4-of, because it's the only thing that actually gets through Elspeth.
You have Prognostic Sphinx, but they were also playing things that can just get through and take the Elspeth or kill the Elspeth.
Yeah.
4 of Thoughtseize.
Yeah,
Night
Four
Veil Spectre.
of Hero's Downfall.
Night Veil Spectres and
Well, Night Veil Spectre wasn't legal.
Ashiok. It played Ashiok as a 4-of in that.
Right.
Night Veil Spectre wasn't legal. Right.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also wishful thinking.
So, yeah, hopefully they print something, maybe not Day of Judgment, but maybe some kind of cool 3-color board wipe, like a junk board wipe, because they're the control deck. Like, they're the control clan.
Or the America one.
Well, they're not based on control, though. The control, the
they're
control
not
clan
based
is
on
junk.
control.
So maybe, black, white, green, 1, kill people. Some kind of kill things spell.
But the America one is going to be the one that has the drawing cards.
Yeah.
So make color is blue.
Yeah,
And then
they're the tricksters. They might have some kind of board wipe, but it'll be some kind of weird one that probably won't be worth it. So
I feel like you won't see a ton of, hey, I am playing this clan. I'm clearly playing this clan. I feel like you're going to see some of the, hey, I'm playing some cards that could be in these two
Right,
clans,
definitely.
or cards that are
That's-
two clans.
Yeah, and that's usually the way it is. But with this 3-color stuff coming out, their 3-color decks are already a thing.
Yeah.
So 3-color decks are just going to be even more of a thing.
Yes,
Do
obviously.
you think it's going to be possible to throw things from other things together, or is it going to have to be synergistic to the point where they are a clan, this is what they do?
I
you
feel
need
like
the
it'll
synergy?
be
like a 4-color.
Like, is it possible to
Positive.
splash a 4th color in to put 2 clans together to make it a
If-
feasible
Yes.
option?
If
I feel like
they
that's
put it
probably
together
possible.
the way they put in Return to Ravnica, you have stuff like Mizium Mortars is an Izzet card, but you don't see any Izzet decks because you don't need to play blue to play Mizium Mortars. Like, it's that good of a card that red decks will play it. You can play red, green,
basically-
or whatever.
Yeah, so we'll see model color deck cards that have mechanics.
Almost probably.
Almost probably.
Almost probably.
Almost probably.
Almost probably.
Wait, T-shirts to say almost probably.
Those
And wonky.
Yeah, it'd be too
Or
bonky.
bonky.
We can't
Bonky.
get those shirts because that'd be too
Okay,
bonky.
so monkey.
Almost probably.
Now we need catchphrases.
Almost probably.
Hey, that game is bonky. I stick to
Can
my
I-
opinion. It
can
still is
I,
bonky. They haven't fixed it. Don't buy it.
No, you should buy it. It's good.
No, it is.
Can my catchphrase be "Shut up, Eric"?
That's fine.
That's actually
Alright.
pretty true because I do keep talking quite a bit.
Yeah. So, it's cool. Like the word-wide spells, they're a part of the game. We have 2 or 3 in the format, like after rotation, but they're not good enough. Like
No.
Mass Calcify, all non-white creatures. We have Extinguish All Hope, which is destroy all non-enchantment or non-enchanted creatures. Those are not good.
No.
Like
Third one?
I can't think of
In Garrick's Wake.
Yeah, and Garrick's Wake is like I
That's
might
a-
actually see that.
Solid one, actually.
9 cost.
Heavy
Destroy.
Destroy all creatures and planeswalkers you don't control.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will probably be a thing. Probably.
And
If you
in
can get
a
to
mono
9,
green
you
list.
probably have something stupidly large. On
In a
the
mono
field.
green list.
Yeah.
And you know, with
If you're a Garrick deck.
with this
Flash black.
junk color combination being a control deck and their mechanic being about making the game go long, I feel like in Garrick's Wake will probably fit in their deck.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like
They'll
that's-
play Elspeth. They'll play in Garrick's Wake. They'll do something.
They'll play Garrick.
I
Yeah,
want to
I'll
see.
play Garrick. Yeah.
I want to see the interaction between things with Nykthos, like monocolored heavy 1-mana symbol Nykthos decks, if they can outrace how good the 3-color decks are.
I feel like, yeah. See,
I feel like monocolored decks will still hold solid and stand.
Mono black
think so.
aggro. Mono black aggro is still gonna be good.
There will
Oh,
be
like,
what they
things.
have.
There will be things that are still good in monocolors, but can they outrace how? Because the card quality is just significantly higher with 3 colors,
yeah.
as we've
Yeah.
seen numerous times.
Yeah.
Woolly Thoktar is a 3-cost 5/4 no catch.
Right. Yeah. The more colors you add, the better the cards are, and that's cool because standard's gonna be awesome cards. Cards that'll make a big difference in the eternal formats. I think that's
I'll say,
pretty cool.
if we use shards as a, understanding of how things are going to go with this. Granted, shards is,
Shards, the whole block was based on
Right.
3 colors.
right, so that's a little bit different.
So it's a little bit different.
But
But
this set will almost guarantee will affect,
we'll see some shardy qualities.
yeah, it will see
Do you
a
think we'll
lot
see
of
any
points.
reprints from shards?
No.
No.
Not specific
Because
reprints,
not
but
the
like
same shard.
not staples
We'll
or
see-
reprints, but
We'll see
maybe
things
a
that are
card.
similar, like
some
like
colors,
panoramas.
Panoramas are the tap
Yeah,
lands.
right. That's what I'm talking
Like
about.
Yeah.
we won't see. Oh, it's not a BAMP panorama. It's now a
But I do think
Timur
that
panorama.
we could see some, 2-color things.
Yes.
What about charms?
we
Oh.
could see? I think I would love
That would
to
be
see
cool.
that actually because we've seen it in Allura and
Mm.
we've seen it in Ravnica.
Ravnica.
And we've also seen it with monocolor charms.
And yeah, okay.
The monocolor, there's actually like a couple cycles
There's
of
two.
monocolor
There's at
charms.
least 2 cycles.
But
of monocolor.
will they bear any resemblance? Because they've already been reprinted in these colors. They've already been printed in these colors because they were the dragons' charms. The Elder Dragons each had
Yeah,
charms.
yeah. Yeah,
They're
that's
already
true.
printed in these colors. Are they going to be reprints of
We
that?
could see the Elder Dragons later, not now. Later.
Yeah.
Although,
That's
I mean, we are time traveling. Go back to a time where those were relevant.
but my
we'll
question.
see Elder Dragons,
My question is, do you think those Elder Dragon charms
and they are
from
capable of
then
planeswalking.
are good
so
enough for reprinting now, or are they just going to come up with new things to those colors
Probably some new
and
ones.
just
We'll probably
implement
just
that?
see new ones.
Yes.
I was thinking about the song "Magic" by Bob.
Okay.
And he talks about time traveling and it's magic. So I kind of had a little epiphany in my head about that. That's it.
Elder Dragons are one of the
I had
species
something.
that are
I had something
capable
that
of
I thought
planeswalking
of.
without a spark.
Oh, what about the fact we know that each group has an actual color that they're based on. There are 3 colors, but there's 1 color that they're focusing on.
Right.
Was that that way in shards too?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
And it was, for them, it was just the middle color.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, it was just a middle
is them being based on a certain color going to matter with? Are they going to do mostly that, or like if they have charms, are they going to be like one of each?
It'll be one of
color,
each because I think
like,
that's how
or
I
is it
think
gonna be
that's how it
basically-
was in shards. It was
Yeah.
one of each color.
Yeah, it'll be
and that's
it'll
how
be
the
like
charms were
the
in
junk
Ravnica.
thing will be a
One
black
of each.
ability, a white ability, and a green ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what's
That's probably what you'll see is
like, that's what they did in
an ability
Ravnica
that's
too. with-
characteristically
one and then
green, an ability that's characteristically black,
So it gets to
or
green.
whatever.
Pump. black kill, white prevent damage.
Give life.
Something like that.
Give
But
life.
it probably won't be that characteristically. It might be white exile creature, black
That's too good.
for 3?
Yes.
For 3 in 3 different colors, just exile a creature.
And there's also 2 other abilities on the card. If it was just that ability, yeah, sure, fine.
It's also 3 colors.
It's also 3 colors.
Right, but still. Look at the
exile.
look at the other charms. Like, they're not fantastic.
They also weren't printed now.
No, they're printed.
It worked.
I
It
think
was
okay,
very stupid.
just straight exiling something might be bad, but it's not going to be just gain life. That's kind of lame.
What was the band
Okay,
one?
one of the white ones might be just gain life.
What was the band? I don't
Gain
know.
10 life for 3. Like, I'll take it.
Band charm, dude.
I'll take it.
I play Heroes Reunion now.
Yeah, why not?
Blue would be draw something, make a creature unblockable,
Blue will be return like
throw something to the hand
or to the top of the deck.
or to the top of the deck.
Or the bottom of the deck.
Ooh.
That would be interesting, actually.
Like on the blue white one. That's a blue, white, and red. American one.
Or
The
the
band
bottom
charm.
of your deck.
So the band charm was destroy target artifact. Put our
Green.
creature. Put our creature on the bottom of the owner's library.
Wait.
And counter target instant spell.
Yeah.
So that's just to get an idea of a power level.
Right.
Alright.
I'm going to make a prediction about this next set. The American clan will be the best. And I'll tell you
No.
why. I will tell you why.
I disagree, but go ahead.
Because looking at it on paper right now, if things just come out the way that we want them to, the junk color combination will be unbeatable. What we have right now and what we're getting, if we get what we think we're going to get, junk will be unbeatable.
Okay.
They're black and green are way too good.
Yep.
In standard, we know that.
Yeah,
Green
okay,
is
yes.
green's the best color, and black is the most established deck. They have Thoughtseize, they have all
Yeah,
these great
okay.
stuff. They have a new Planeswalker that costs 7 that does 4 things.
Yep.
And
Black and
now-
green are the best.
Now in an enchantment heavy meta that is standard,
Right.
we also have Return to Nature for 2.
Back to nature.
Back to
That's
nature,
it.
that's it.
Yeah. So for things to stay even, blue and white are losing the most. I'll go. I think. I think blue and white are losing the
I
most.
see where you're going with this.
So for things to stay even, the American clan has to be overpowered. Has to be the best. Maybe not by far the best, but has to be better than the other 4.
Not to mention it has blue, red,
It is blue.
white.
So potentially, blue is the best color. Historically speaking. White
Blue
is
is the
white
best
is
color.
also white is like the worst color historically. Like, people will say
but when
will
paired with
argue,
blue,
but they also have red, and that gives them some
Right, so
some
white
reach,
is
say.
historically attached to blue's coattails, but go ahead.
Yeah, they're just kind of latching on. So I think the American colors will probably be the best in this set at least, just to keep things even.
I think
So
there's
black and
some
green don't run
validity
away
to that.
with the format.
I think there is validity to that. There will be answers to the things that are black and green.
They need to have something that something not necessarily Sphinx of Revelation power level, but you're not going to replace it.
No,
You
or
need something
even-
to
no,
make
power
that
level.
side even.
even like a blue Sun Zenith power level.
Or we could be way off and black and green will just run away with the format.
They could.
It could happen. Or black could just get screwed, and green could run away with the format, like I want to
I
happen.
mean,
Just mono green.
they want to
Mono
keep
green.
things even. They want to keep things even in standard.
Or
And
rogue.
they just printed
No problem.
a black green
Rogue,
planeswalker that is insanely good. And we all thought that Elspeth would kind of suck when we first saw it. Let's be honest, we thought she was going to suck.
Yeah, we did.
Because 6 mana planeswalker, and I'm not going to pay for that.
That's really
This
heavy.
format-
But
this
it's a lot
format's
of
slowing
play.
down.
After a year, it's still the most expensive card in
In standard.
standard.
Yeah. And the
Besides maybe
format's
Mutavault.
slowing down,
Mutavault's about right there too. Yeah.
so that's why I think the American colors will be the best.
I think there's
I should
validity to
probably
that.
learn their name. So,
We'll actually.
The Ashay way.
Ask
Start
guy.
with a J.
Ask guy.
Yes, Just Guy.
Just guy.
Yes guy.
Or Yes Guy with soft J. Yes Guy.
Yes guy.
Yes guy.
Yes Guy.
I think it would be yes guy. The yes guy.
Could be Yogging.
Yogging.
No,
soft J.
But
Yogging.
it's blue,
Soft
so it's
J.
always gonna be nope.
There's
The
going
yes
to be
guy. Nope.
maybe an American blue white red, really good counterspell, like counterspell draw card or something like that. Maybe.
Counter spell.
I could
Maybe
see it.
counter
I
the
could
next
see
spell they play.
Maybe a man.
No, we already got Remand.
I know.
We can ask for that one too.
Maybe a.
We can't ask. We won't
We'll
get.
get it, No sense of wasting our wishes on that,
Hmm.
More wishes!
Yeah, if I'm wishing for something, Remand is not it.
If I'm wishing for something, it's Eldrazi.
We really should.
But I don't think it's gonna happen.
We really should name this 3 wishes.
Yeah, 'cause we've wished for a lot of things.
Yeah. So the next set is I think it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna add a lot to not only Standard, obviously, but it's gonna add to Commander in a big way, and it might add to Modern in a big way, hopefully.
Yeah. I think we'll see.
Every first set has had something really, really cool in it that has affected the entire game, like all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
You had Deathrite Shaman, what else? Deathrite Shaman was the last thing I remembered. Snapcaster Mage was one before that. Theros, I don't know what they had. What did they have?
Theros had
something good.
Thoughtseize.
Sure, alright.
But by its own.
Something new.
The gods.
Yeah, the gods
yeah.
were cool. They did a lot for...
Yeah, the idea of devotion.
Yeah. Devotion's even kind of almost a thing in Modern.
The idea to go to monocolored directly after.
We needed a reason to make monocolor good, so...
Yeah.
Now we're going to 3 colors.
See, that's what I figured would happen. Someone asked the question on the forum, can we expect to see finally, after 20-some years, a 4-color legendary creature?
No.
Why not?
There's only, 5 4-color creatures total?
Yeah, but they're not legendary.
They're not legendary.
Yeah, I don't think we're not going to see that many 4-color things.
We need them for decks.
Are we going to see any 4-color things?
That is true. They may... I don't think it'll be in this set. I think it'll be in the last set. You'll see 4-color things. Well, that's what block did I say that about the last time that won Nephilim to come back?
Ravnica?
Maybe it was... Yeah, I think it was Ravnica.
Because they were from the original Ravnica.
I want another reason to play Chromaticor.
You give me a reason to play Chromaticor.
What's Chromaticor?
It's a...
What's
don't about it.
Chromaticor?
Oh,
It's
It's
costs
Uber
creature.
Stab you. But,
Get off the show.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Chromatic
cards.
Lantern's going to rotate. We need some way to cast that Chromaticor.
What's Blue Moon? Or
That's a good question.
What's Chromaticor, Timmy?
He knows it all about Mac.
oh my goodness.
So
I'm sorry.
let's move on to the next thing. The last thing we have on our list, let's talk about Pro Tour's coming up starting Friday. The format will be standard with 8 different sets, legal, and draft. and 15 drafting.
I hate you.
So what's going to happen? What do we think? Reed Duke
Duke will
will
happen.
run away with it, and he
Reed
will
Duke is
win.
going to happen.
In
Reed
Mono
Duke will
Blue.
win.
He will
Mono
go.
Blue.
He will go 16-0, and he will win. Everyone else will be 14 or 2.
He's going to Finkel.
I think he's going to
I want to see
16
Finkel
rounds of
finally
Finkel.
win.
He's still going to think.
No. But
Again.
this is the formal challenge, Reed Duke. Finkel, the Pro Tour.
Finkel.
And for those of you who don't know the Finkel term, Finkel, at least what we call Finkling is winning every game of a tournament. So not losing a single, not a match, not losing a single game. So
You 2-0.
go 16.
every-
Is it 16 rounds? Is it? Yeah.
It's
go,
16.
Go 16 rounds without losing a game. That's a formal challenge.
So play 32 games, don't lose any of them.
To our knowledge, John Finkel, the greatest player of all time, in all of our opinion,
Yes.
is
Obviously.
the only player to have done this on the Pro Tour,
That's why it's called Finkel.
which is why it's called Finkel again.
Is it Pro Tour?
It was
Yeah,
some
it was-
major event at least.
it was a major event.
Yeah.
It was a huge event, and then he...
Johnny Magic, they call him.
Johnny Magic.
I want to see some cool stuff from the pros, some innovation. I don't know if Chapin's actually going to play in this Pro Tour. He probably will, but he doesn't have to. I don't really see a reason for him to.
Why would you not want to?
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have to. Like, there's the stress coming up of the World Magic Cup, the Players Championship coming up. But I feel like if anyone's going to innovate, it's going to be him, the innovator himself.
No, is Conley Woods playing this weekend?
Yes,
Therapy.
he should be.
I expect big things out of Conley Woods.
Yeah.
I feel like that man.
He'll be in contention.
That man puts a card
That'd be
name on a ball and puts it in a big wheel and spins it and then pulls 5 or 6 of them out and goes, okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
With decks? Yes.
Yes.
Of anybody,
Yes.
Conley Woods is that guy.
The difference is between those two. Chapin takes ideas that we all know are good, and he kind of like just makes them the best. Like we all know his things are good, but he's just tweaking them so they're perfect. And then Conley takes an idea that no one's ever thought of and tries to play it and probably
So he
fails miserably with it. But
so yeah,
I love what he does, but it just
that's what he did with
work.
Saber Fire Dancer.
Conley Woods, his decks he takes to Pro Tours or GPs are decks that I would really question playing in an FN.
Yeah.
But he does well with them.
But he usually goes.
But I would go maybe not. But we can expect to see some good stuff. Probably some mono black. I mean, almost definitely.
Here, let's go ahead and speculate. What's Craig Wesco going to play if he plays?
Probably Weenies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
wow,
Weenies.
that was really hard.
Boros
Moving on.
Weenies.
Moving on.
Remember, it's gonna be the best. It will be the best Weenies deck ever.
Probably just mono white. I think he's not going to roll any other color. Just mono white.
Maybe.
I think we'll see him.
I will bet
splash
you.
in the second color.
We can have a bet on this. I will bet that he will play mono white and no other color.
He'll play mono black, and everyone will be so thrown off.
How crazy would it be if Craig Wesco played anything other than the only thing he ever plays?
He did once, and then the White Weenies deck won.
So ever since then, just
Ever
vowed
since
to
that-
always.
Yeah, ever since he vows to always play White Weenies.
He always plays White Weenies in Constructed.
My least favorite player of all time.
He's
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
He is boring to watch.
Yeah.
He's so
You don't watch. You can't say
predictable. Predictable. That's what I was coming up with. Was it der?
Words. Yeah.
His decks require little to zero.
My brain was
thought.
bonky.
Is that there's also some races for Player of the Year that we need to keep track of. Reed Duke and Jeremy Desani, I believe is who it is. These two guys are fighting for. I think they're tied right now, or they're really close. Either that or Desani's just pulled ahead because he top 16 or top 8 at the last GP last weekend. So we're looking to see. There's a bunch of for the Players Championship coming up. There's a bunch of at-large bids that people are fighting for, and there's I think like 8 different players fighting for the same spot in the Players Championship, which is pretty crazy. There's also World Magic Cup head of the whatever it's called, the captains. That's it.
Yeah.
Will be determined. So last year France won. Was it France? Yeah, France won last year, and since then the French players have been, then a Frenchie won the Pro Tour Theros, and they've been pretty good recently. There's also Player of the Year, probably Jared Betcher, the guy with Pokemon hat, has been winning quite often.
He's been doing a lot. He's been grinding.
Yeah, he's probably going to make Rookie of the Year and make it to the Players Championship. So there's some stuff to watch. If you watch the Pro Tour, the guys that are commentating will tell you all these things as you watch it, so you don't have to know all that.
Yeah. You don't have to go to the research.
It'll be interesting. Just watch it. It'll be fun to watch. It's and it's actually in a time zone where we can watch it. It's on the west. It's Portland, Oregon, so it's on the west coast, and that's the perfect time for us on the east coast to watch it. So we don't have to get up at 8 o'clock. We have to get up at like 11 o'clock.
It's really nice.
On Friday.
Is this the World Magic Cup?
No,
So
this is a Pro Tour.
Yeah, Pro Tour.
So I can come home from work and miss the first half of it. Yeah.
But it'll be starting at like 10 or 11, and then it'll be 8 rounds. So that'll be until like 7 o'clock. So you can see the end of it and some replays. So I mean.
And I will be missing it all.
So they always give adequate replays too.
Yeah, and it's going to be on YouTube. If you want to watch any replays of anything, YouTube has a lot of stuff. YouTube is pretty cool. So that's where I watch it.
Anything else we need to talk about? Next 2 weeks I'll be gone, and so these guys will be hosting on their own, which means I have to teach them how to do it.
Will I be here?
No. And if Eric joins you, he will be doing it via our first ever.
Hey, I may drive in. I may telecommute.
Let's say soon we will be splitting up, and so we will be doing proper hangouts where we're all not just hanging out on one couch, but probably like at least 2 different couches.
So
Maybe
we'll
3.
telecommute.
You're leaving soon, and I'll be leaving in the end of the month.
We'll be telecommuting.
Yes.
I like the word telecommuting.
Nah.
It's a better word than bonky.
It is.
It's a real word.
I disagree. Bonky is
I
the
like
best.
Funky better.
Bonky was well done.
All right.
Okay,
And-
it's not my own word.
All right. And with that, signing off. We'll see you guys next week on Monday.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!